There's a lot of discussion about raising the minimum wage, but not a lot of people talk about who a minimum wage worker is. We want to put a face on these workers so that you'll know who they are. There are 127.5 million workers in the United States. We'll add one person to the map for every 1 million workers. Now, 2.8% of workers are paid the minimum wage. That's 3.5 million workers, or 3.5 of the people here. But it hasn't always been like this. In 1980, 8.9% of all workers were minimum wage workers. This fell sharply until it hit 3.1% in 1990. In the 15 years after that, it continued to decline until 2005, when 1.5% of workers earned the minimum wage. This climbed to 3.5% following the '08 recession, but if we look at a year-over-year trend, we can see that it is beginning to decline again. So what do we know about minimum wage workers? First, we know where these workers work. Almost half work in restaurants, both fast food and sit-down. After this, a fifth work in sales and office settings. 18% work in personal services, such as health and protective care. 10% work in transportation and material moving. 4% work in management, and 2% work in construction and maintenance. Second, we know that 6 out of every 10 minimum wage workers are women. If we look at the rest of the workforce, we find that just under 5 in 10 are women. So there is a difference between the two. We also know the relationship status. About 7 in every 10 are single, 2 in 10 are married, and 1 in 10 is widowed or divorced. We know also that these workers are young. 51% are from the age of 16 to 24. 20% are 25 to 34. Those from 35 to 44 and 45 to 54 both represent about 10% of these workers. 5% are 55 to 64, and 3% are over the age of 65. Now, this age distribution helps us make sense of two other things that we know. It helps us make sense of the fact that the workers have a certain type of family structure. 72% of workers who would be affected by an increase in the minimum wage, for example, do not have children. 28% of these workers, or about 3 in every 10, do have children. The fact that these workers are young also helps us make sense of the fact that most minimum wage workers don't earn the minimum wage for long. Here's what we mean. If these 100 people represent everyone who just started their career, we know that 31 of them will earn within a quarter, or 25 cents, of the minimum wage. 5 years after they started work, 11 of them will earn close to the minimum. After 10 years, 7 earn this much. In other words, many people start off earning a low wage, but they move up over time. We hope that this video has helped you understand who a minimum wage worker is. Feel free to check out our 2 other videos on the minimum wage. Citizen Tools is a nonpartisan resource that provides data-rich facts and analyses about economic, political, and social trade-offs facing the U.S.